This is a good haircut and good length for somebody that wants to really sport the finger wave look.
Really?
Yes. Yes. Which we're going to be doing finger waves in a couple of days, and you'll most likely be doing it on the mannequin that's this length. Because it's really, finger waves can be challenging on length that's longer than the shoulders. Absolutely, I'm all done with it. Okay, so the main thing that we want to do is we're going to section the hair into 4, just like we did with our one length or blunt cut. Starting at the center of the forehead, and you're going to go up to the high point of the head. You're then going to extend that guide from the high point all the way down to the center nape. This will separate your right from your left, distributing the weight of the hair evenly around the head. I draw the comb to my finger as if my finger were a magnet, and I pull the hair away in one swoop to give me a nice clean parting. I'm then going to go from the high point down to where the ear connects, again drawing my comb to my finger, pulling the hair away from my parting as I create my parts.
When you say high point, it's the apex, right?
Yes, exactly. Very good. You can twist or clip your front sections out of the way for now. We'll be visiting them later. I'm going to repeat that on both sides of the head, so that I have my 4 sections or quadrants. Keep your partings clean. Make sure that you're balanced all the way around the head. And this will give you organization throughout your haircut and equal distribution of weight. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to drop down a guide in the back before pinning the back up. It's going to look like the shape of a V, but it's going to follow your hairline. It's going to be about a ½ inch to an inch thick.
Wow.
Clip up the rest of the hair out of the way. We'll be working with that here in a few minutes. I'm going to repeat that on the other side. Create a V parting that follows the hairline out to each ear where your side parting is.
You know what? I thought I did this haircut already, but not this way. How exciting is this, guys? They have no idea. They have no idea. You guys, you know what? Maybe it's just me, but I'm excited. I mean, this is like advanced / basic.
This is advanced. This is a very advanced technique. If I was shown this stuff in school, I would have definitely gone a lot further, a lot quicker. Okay, so now, just like most haircuts, we're going to start by creating our guide in the back. We're going to be focusing on our design line, which is the outer perimeter of your haircut. You're going to start in the very center, and you're going to start out with a small guide, and of course through your consultation you want to determine the length. I'm going to take her up to the actual neckline, the bottom of the neckline. I might let you guys take it a little bit longer than that. So I'm going to comb it straight down, and I'm at a 0-degree elevation right now. I want a clean guide. I do not want to elevate this at all. So I'm keeping it flat against the head with the head tilted forward, and I'm going to work palm to palm with short, small snips. Now, I've started my guide. Now I need to extend that guide out towards the ear. So I'm going to work from the center out, from the center out. But I also need to use a reference point. I am going to use my actual parting as a guide. So I'm going to comb that hair down in the same direction as my V parting. And I'm going to angle up and cut that guide from the center out. My fingers and my elbow are reflecting the angle that I'm cutting.
Wow.
Make sure that you're following your V parting line and cut from the center out, palm to palm. Short, small snips in the grooves of your fingers to ensure a nice, clean cutting line. And follow your parting. Again, keep it at a 0-degree elevation so that you have no taper. You want a nice, solid guide to follow through the rest of this haircut. This guide in the back is going to take you on to the rest of the haircut. So again, I'm going to take my comb. I'm going to keep it in the same angle as my parting. And I'm going to follow the angle of my parting. And I'm going to make sure that my fingers and my comb reflect the angle that I'm cutting. I'm going to do this out towards each ear, keeping it at a 0-degree elevation for your guide, which means keeping it close to the head. Okay, so now I've created my guide, but before I go any further, because this guide's going to be a reflection of the rest of my haircut, I want to make sure my guide is even. So what I need to do is visually check for balance and proportion by holding it down and looking at where it falls. And now's the time to make adjustments versus getting all the way through the haircut and having to redo it all over again. I see that I'm slightly longer on this side, so I want to make those adjustments now. Always recheck for balance and proportion when you make any adjustments. Now, we're balanced, we're even on both sides, we follow up the same angle on both sides, so now it's time to actually go in and cut. We have a good guide to work with. So what we're going to do is we're going to take down what we call V partings. And this is when we're going to start going into our elevation and over direction. See, when we did horizontal partings in the back for the blunt cut, what that does is it distributes the weight of the hair all equally across the back. V partings direct all the weight towards the center back. That's why we use V partings in this procedure. Make sure that you bring down both sides at the same time so that you're working for balance.
Which makes sense.
Because a lot of people like to do one side first and then the other, and then they find that one side's off balance. Keep your right now separated from your left. You're going to draw an imaginary line all the way down the center back. Keep your left separated from your right. This is when we're going to over direct and elevate. You're now going to start from the bottom center. Either side does not matter. You're going to comb it in the same direction as that V. You see my V?
Right.
You're going to comb it in that same direction and lift it slightly away from the head at a 45-degree angle. And what you're looking for is a clean line underneath and cut to that line. When you over direct and elevate the hair away from the natural falling position, you create taper and layers. And I'm going to work from the center out, watching my fingers and my elbow.
It's crazy. What's the difference between taper and layer?
Well, tapering is a light form of layering.
Okay.
Taper is more of a choppy stacked effect, where layering is just gradual.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to repeat the process on the other side. You want to slightly elevate out at a 45-degree angle, combing it in the same direction as your V parting, which means you're over directing.
Okay.
And you're looking for your clean line underneath. If you can't see that line, it means you need to take thinner partings. There should be no guesswork. You have something telling you how to hold the hair, something to tell you how to elevate the hair, and in which direction to comb the hair. There should be no guesswork whatsoever. I'm working palm to palm to reduce wrist injuries. I'm palming my shears when I'm not cutting to take stress off my index finger, and also so that I don't cut into any unwanted cut hair and cut myself or the client. I'm going to continue up the head, taking V partings.
Wow. That makes sense, right?
So all I've done so far, guys, is I've sectioned the hair into 4. I dropped down a V parting in the back to follow the hairline. I cut that at a 0 degree from the center out following my V parting, checking for balance and proportion, and that brings us to the step we're on now by dropping down V partings, slightly elevating and over directing away from the natural fall at a 45-degree angle, which creates a tapered stacking effect and light layering. This will also create some movement in the hair. Working from the center out, always taking short, small snips to create a smoother cutting line. And because this hair is fine, I'm going to bring the rest of this down, but if not, I would continue all the way down with V partings until I finish the back. Now, when you get to the top, you're not going to have a V parting to follow, but what you want to do is take the wide set of your comb, wide teeth, and naturally comb it out to its natural falling position.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Then, keeping your right separated from your left, even though you don't have a V parting there, you have to still maintain that same level of elevation and over direction. And by this point of the haircut, you'll know. Because you're looking for that clean line. I'm still holding it in the same way that my V partings were having me do it earlier, but right now I don't have a visual V parting. But
Is that a soft grip or a tight grip? Or?
I've got a nice grip of tension on the hair because my fingers are pushing that comb until I see that guide disappear, and then I remove and cut. Your fingers should be married to that comb and only release that comb when they're ready to actually go in and cut that section of hair. Okay, we've just completed the back, basically.
That's beautiful.
So now we're going to go in and we're going to vertically check to the floor. This is how you check the back. You start in the very center back with pinch partings, the width of the comb. You're going to get to the side and you're going to push your knuckles down to the floor to where you're at a 45-degree angle, and this is going to tell you what minimal cleanup you need to remove.
That's beautiful.
You're going to start that from the center and work out, overlapping each section so that you are making sure that you check and clean up all of those areas in the back.
That's pie sections, right?
Yeah, basically they're pie sections. And you're only working out towards the ear because that's the only hair that you've cut.
Are you getting this, Michael?
Yeah, I'm getting it.
All right.
And I'm going back to the center and I'm working out. My knuckles are pushing that comb down to the floor at a 45-degree angle, looking for any unwanted taper or hair that travels beyond the line I've created. You should only be seeing minimal cleanup. If you're seeing more than an 1/8 of an inch come off, that means you need to get back into cutting position because that is not a position to be cutting in when you're in checking position. You could cut into unwanted hair.
Wow.
Okay? Then you're pretty much ready to move on. Now, we have our back. It's completed.